Toronto's suburban housing market is on fire. Today, I'm going to look at some of the latest trends to walk you through just how competitive the market is for houses in Toronto suburbs. My name is John Pasalis, president at Realosophy Realty. You can catch all my latest writings on Toronto's housing market at movesmartly.com. If you find this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel to stay up to date on all my latest videos. Now, what I'm going to do today is kind of unpack one of the sections of my report that I wrote for my December report on the Toronto's suburban housing market. If you want more stats and charts, head over to our blog, movesmartly.com, and look for my December report. But I'll kind of unpack sort of the executive summary and the key takeaways on what's going on. Now, when we think about what's going on in the suburbs, I think it's important to kind of set the framework and the picture to think about what was the market like in 2019 and how did things change into 2020. And in 2019, the suburban housing market was actually very balanced. From a supply perspective, it was relatively balanced. And even when we look at the rate of growth in home prices, house prices in general were growing less than 5% year over year. And in some areas were actually negative. So it was a very balanced, soft, kind of calm market. Then kind of what happened is we started heading into the end of 2019 and into the first quarter of 2020, the housing market just blew up across the board. A lot of agents were comparing the dynamics of that market to sort of the irrationality that we saw in 2016 and 2017 in Toronto's sort of peak of Toronto's housing bubble. And it was super competitive. We saw tons of bidding wars, and this next chart, I think, really captures it. So this next chart kind of looks at the percentage of homes that were selling for more than the seller's asking price. And it's kind of a good proxy for how competitive the market is. And we can see for 2019, the market, less than 30% of homes were selling for more than the asking price. And then all of a sudden, we saw this rapid surge in homes selling for more than asking in the first quarter. Then that dropped quite a bit during the second quarter once we had our lockdown due to COVID. And since then, we can see sort of this real steep acceleration, with areas like Durham with about 70% of homes selling for more than the asking price. So the market right now in the suburbs is more competitive, significantly more competitive than it was last year. And again, this is largely due to really tight supply, really big increase in demand. That's making these markets more competitive. So when we look at sort of how this has impacted house prices, sort of this next chart is going to just show the year over year change in prices in the four regions in Toronto's suburban housing market. And we can kind of see sort of at the beginning here, house prices are appreciating by roughly less than 5%. We have this big spike in the first quarter of 2020. Things calmed down. And now in the second half of 2020, we have house prices appreciating by between 15 to 24% year over year. And again, a lot of economists, Bank of Canada, have really sort of explained this away by arguing that this is just pent up demand due to the slowdown in the second quarter. But I think we're well beyond that. I mean, from my perspective, I think these trends are troubling. In areas like Durham region, house prices are up 24% in 1 year. Which is really significant and is killing any affordability. And really, I mean, from what I see from what's happening is we had these sort of bubble-like housing conditions in the first quarter of 2020 that obviously had nothing to do with COVID because that was well before the lockdown. And what's happening now, it looks like just those trends are reinflating after the fact. And for a number of reasons, we have this spike in new demand from people looking for bigger houses and record low interest rates. So, I think this is something I think policymakers should be a little bit more concerned about. They don't appear to be. I mean, CMHC as well is more concerned about a crash when I think the big concern should be the fact that house prices are rising very aggressively at bubble-like appreciation rates. So I think those are the key things that policymakers should be more concerned about right now. If you have any questions, please post them below or shoot me an email at askjohn@movesmartly.com.